Grateful to you for coming along this afternoon. Perhaps I might begin by asking a slightly more topical question, which is that we've had quite a lot of evidence. I'm sure you've been following what has been said. Indeed, I spent most of the weekend reading 700 written submissions, which we've had, mainly from people who are directly affected by these proposed changes. And the kind of summary of what is being suggested by many contractors is that they are going to find themselves under very severe pressure financially as a result of those changes. And I wondered whether Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs had considered, given the enormous financial impact which we are about to experience as a result of coronavirus, whether it might not be sensible for you to defer introducing these changes at least for 6 months, if not a year.
Thank you. It might be better for Lindsay to speak to that, because obviously that would be a policy matter for ministers.
Yeah. So, as the committee will be aware, the Chancellor confirmed in the budget last week that it would still go ahead from April 2020. But alongside that, the Chancellor did also announce quite a significant package of support for public services, individuals and businesses in responding to the coronavirus outbreak. I'm very happy to say a bit more about what was in that to support individuals. I think the government is acutely aware that this is going to be a difficult time for many people and many businesses, and has sought to put in place a whole series of measures to provide that support.
I'm asking you whether you might put in place a measure which is not to go ahead with a measure, which we've had evidence indicates will have a very damaging effect on the incomes of many self-employed and contractors.
Yeah. So as I said, the Chancellor announced in the budget that it is.
I know what he said in
ahead.
the budget. I know what he said in the budget. I'm asking, was it considered?
So I can't comment on policy advice that might or might not have been given. I can only tell you that
Do you think it should
been
have
announced
been?
That it has, that it is going ahead.
Knowing what we know now, the budget speech would have been written somewhat in advance of its delivery, and that decision would have been taken. Knowing what we know now about the catastrophic effect which coronavirus is going to have on the economy, do you think it would be sensible to consider deferring this?
So that is a question for ministers to determine. I mean, over the last sort of many months, and most particularly recently in the course of undertaking the review on implementation of IR35, ministers did receive representations about whether or not to proceed with the reform, and government determined that it was still the right thing to proceed with the reform from April 2020. We received evidence that for a number of businesses who are well prepared for the reforms after many consultations and lots of engagement, that they would find it now harder not to proceed in some cases. But we are doing everything that we can in response to that review to smooth the implementation and to support individuals and businesses in operating the rules. And Keris can say a bit more about what we are doing to support that.